सर्वकार्य ओम वक्रतुंड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभा निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा श्री गणेशाय नमः ओम गंगणपतये नमः सर्वमंगलमांगल्ये शिवे सर्वार्थ साधिके शरण्ये त्र्यंबके गौरी नारायणि नमोस्तुते या देवी सर्वभूतेषु महालक्ष्मी रूपेण संस्थिता नमस्ते 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 नमो नमः ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः गुणातीतोऽक्षरं ब्रह्म भगवान् पुरुषोत्तमः जनो जानन्दिदं सत्यं उच्यते भवबन्धनात् ओम श्री स्वामीनारायणाय नमः ओम श्री लक्ष्मीनारायणाय नमः ओम श्री नरनारायणाय नमः ओम श्री कृष्णनारायणाय नमः ओम श्री राधा कृष्णाय नमः ओम श्री रामचंद्राय नमः ओम श्री हनुमते नमः Namah Shivaya. Welcome to Nitya Satsang. Today is the 6th of May, 2023. With the blessings of the Supreme Lord and the great sages, we are continuing our contemplation on Shri Vivek Chudamani, verse number 70. And in this verse, we have been looking at what is Mananam. So before we begin, I'd like to offer my Danvat Pranam, Anantagudi Namaskara to all the great sages and to the Supreme Lord residing in the heart of every being. So to understand what Shankaracharya ji is saying, as we have been, this is our third day in looking at Mananam. Remember, the first stage is Shravana. Shravana is listening. This stage involves acquisition of knowledge through listening to the teachings in the scriptures like the Upanishads and receiving guidance from a qualified teacher or guru. The whole concept of guru in Sanatana Dharma is that one who has traveled the path towards God, knows the path, and can teach the path. This is the idea. So the word guru is gu plus ru. Gu means darkness, ignorance, bondage, things like that. That is gu. Ru is divinity, is God, is the Atma, Paramatma, the Brahma Tattva. Gu to ru, that is guru. This is its meaning. So, when a bhakta, sadhaka, a seeker who is seeking after the truth goes to a teacher and the teacher is talking, the student is listening. So, Shravana involves acquisition of knowledge. This is the first step. Right? So, when Shankaracharya ji is talking about Mananam, he's talking about the second step. So up to verse number 69, it is all Shravana. Lots of ideas have been presented so far. We have gone through them in the last 2+ years. So many ideas. We've heard them. What now Shankaracharya ji is saying so appropriately is to reflect. This is Mananam, stage number 2. So the seeker engages in deeper contemplation and reflection on the teachings received during the Shravana stage. In the Shravana stage, for example, Shankaracharya ji has stated that this human body is very rare. Don't waste the human body. Don't waste time. Don't waste your intellect on small things. Use it for paramartha. Use it for moksha. Use it for realizing God. Use it for serving the humanity. Use it for extraordinary possibilities. We have heard these ideas over and over again. Now to reflect on them, the seeker contemplates. And by reflecting, the mananam is done to remove doubts, remove misunderstandings, remove misconceptions that may arise during the listening process. So when a bhakta, a mumukshu is listening, there are 3 things that happen. Doubts come. Naturally, so many doubts come. Somebody will ask, how do you know there's Atma? How do you know that there is God? How do you know there's this or there's that? Or so many doubts that come in the minds of the individuals. Questions come, doubts come, queries come, naturally. So in the Mananam is an attempt to resolve those doubts, to resolve all questions from inside, to resolve misunderstandings. things that are not clear. Oh, I don't understand, when you say that Rajogun has passion, and what is that exactly? I'm not clear about that. Okay, ask about it, talk about it, and that will resolve the doubt. So Mananam is when the sadhaka himself or herself begins to reflect from inside, and in that reflection, misunderstandings are revealed. It is the revelation of misunderstanding. It is the revelation of misconception. This is why the Guru Shishya Sambandha, Guru actually are the scriptures, the great sages, and we are contemplating together, but we can learn from each other. But when we probe into these questions, misconceptions that may have arisen get cleared up. We don't want there to be any doubt about the fact that there is Brahman, the super consciousness, supreme consciousness. How do you know that is there? So many doubts come. So, based on the sadhaka's journey, everyone's journey is their own. Based on their starting point, how they're progressing, what is coming in their specific journey, and what difficulties are coming. So, for example, we looked at the question of vasana before. Somebody might say, wait a minute, I don't understand what this is, Why do you say there's something beyond that? What is it? So many questions come about. So reflecting, questioning, listening again, and then applying logical reasoning. There's a great logic in Vedanta. Logic is what? It is the science of causality. If this, then that. If this happens, then this happens. Then this is the cause effect. That's part of logic. Not completely, but it's part of logic. So logic is used to better understand and express and teach Brahma Vidya. For example, Karya Karana Sambandha. Karya means the effect. Karan means the cause. Everything we see in the world around us is the effect. For example, if I'm holding a microphone, which I'm doing right now in my hand, a recorder, that is Karya. That is an effect. The person or groups of people who invented this, that is Karana, the cause. Everything has cause and effect. So Vedanta says that the cause of all causes is the infinite, undivided consciousness. Sarva Karana Karanam. So that's a logic that is being applied to understand, to convince the intellect that there is the cause of all causes. So this type of intellectual, logical conviction is also utilized. So applying logical reasoning. Then inquiry, applying inquiry to inquire, who am I? Who am I? What am I? What am I? Like Ramana Maharishi. The path shown by Ramana Maharishi is to inquire within, to look within. This is the path of inquiry. Then there's critical thinking. Critical thinking to analyze, wait a minute, Shankaracharya ji is saying all these things, Sham, Dam, Uparadi, Diksha. I want to criticize. Criticize meaning I want to critically examine it. This is all part of Mananam. So the seeker strives to assimilate and internalize the teachings given in the scriptures. It's one thing to read the scriptures. It is another thing to assimilate and internalize. This is Mananam, reflection. And when a seeker, a sadhak does this, gains a clear and more profound understanding of the true nature of reality meaning things as they are. This is called Mananam. So in this Mananam, this requires patience and time and group of people that can actually move in this stage. Now, just to be clear, when Shankaracharya ji is saying that we should do this for extended periods of time, he uses the word chirakal in verse number 70. Chirakal means for long periods of time, really slowly, carefully connect. It's the wisdom that needs to erupt from inside. That wisdom is flashes of insight. These are aha moments. Oh, I understand this. I got that. It becomes clear. The confusions, the doubts, the ignorance disappears. That is the power of Mananam. Unless Mananam actually is done, we will just be stuck in the very first stage. We don't want to be stuck there. Of course, to be thoroughly established in Shravan is a very important step. It's the first step, in fact. But it certainly is not the last step. So when an individual is involved in attentive listening, see, that is the key. Attentive listening. Attentive listening allows for each individual who is listening carefully to grasp underlying principles and concepts of the Vedantic teachings. It is the grasping, the attempt to grasp the teaching. It is not simply listening just kind of superficially, no. The grasping, the actual grasping of the ideas written by the great sages. That is of most relevance. So the seeker attentively listens. His attention is there. His intention is there to really be present to what is being said. That is called attentive listening. That is Shravana. And in that, the grasping of the ideas, the grasping of underlying principles and concepts of Vedantic teachings. So, for example, when we are looking at verse number 70, in looking at verse number 70, Shankaracharya ji uses this expression, uses these words, Sattva Dhyanam. He says, Tataha Shrutihi Tat Mananam Sattva Dhyanam Chiram Nitya Nirantaram Munehe. How beautiful. See the beauty in this. See the truth in this. That when we are taking an idea, taking a word, taking scriptures, and trying to grasp the underlying concept. For example, when Shankaracharya ji is saying, Sattva Dhyanam, meditation on truth is Sattva Dhyanam. So what is that Sattva Dhyanam? See the word Sattva. So the sadhak who is listening to this, right now Sachin, let's say, has heard this. That is Shravan. I'm trying to understand what is meant by Sattva plus Dhyana. Meditating on the truth. What is that actually? So now I'm going to reflect. That is Manana. So how do I do this reflection? To do the reflection, I have to understand the meaning of the word Sattva. Right? So here, the way the word is used, and this is where sometimes teachers and gurus are useful, it doesn't necessarily mean Sattva Gun, although it could mean that, but it doesn't really mean that. It is referring to Satyam, that is the Brahman. The meditation on this Satya. But he's using Sattva. He's using the word, not using the word Satya. Why is he saying Sattva Dhyanam? There is a reason behind that. Because we have to bring our mind to the sattvic platform. By bringing the mind in the Sattva Gun, then one can do dhyan of that Satya. So when using the word Sattva Dhyanam, it implies coming to a state of sattva gun, and within sattva gun to discover the real sattva, the real tattva. That is the Brahma tattva. That is the Atma tattva. By coming to a sattvic mindset, if the mind is in rajogun, tamogun, anger, greed, lobe, vasanas, etc., all these things are going on, thinking only about the world, the mind is not in sattvic state. It cannot meditate on the Brahman. Vachanamrut में भी ये दिखा है, भगवान स्वामीनारायण is given reference from Srimad Bhagavatam, Sattvam Yat Brahma Darshanam. बहुत ही सीधी बात है. That our mind, it is not somebody else's mind we are worrying about, it is one's own mind. Bring it to a state of sattva. Now you see, even as Sachin is talking about this, there is a Mananam reflection going on these words. So Shankaracharya ji is saying, we have heard already, he's talked about Shravana already in here. Tataha Shrutihi Tat Mananam. Shruti, so many ideas have been heard. But now, listen, reflect, incorporate, and move ahead. How to do some of this? There are many techniques. Many techniques. One technique is to write down one's thoughts, insights, and questions that arise during the study of Vedanta. And this helps the seeker to organize and clarify their understanding. Write it down, type it out, whatever, on the computer, whatever. It is called journaling. It's a very good technique. The technique of journaling is to write down one's own thoughts. So, for example, take Sattva Dhyanam. If Sachin is going to probe into Sattva Dhyanam, I need to see, okay, what does it speak to me? How does it, what message is it giving to me? What guidance is that word giving to me? Dhyana is meditation, but dhyana on satyam, on truth. How is Shankaracharya ji using this word? You see, so is my mind ready to meditate on satyam? What is involved in that? There's so much. You know, I can sit in my home temple and start to think I'm going to meditate on truth, and my mind is cluttered with 100 things going on. Mind is not prepared to meditate on truth. That is why the sadhanas shown by Shankaracharya ji are of extreme importance for a genuine sadhak. He says, sit silently, sit quietly, go through every single idea slowly, write down inside your book, inside your journal, your thoughts about what it is. Write it down, talk about it. In my case, Sachin, I make lots of recordings, audio recordings. Everybody should do that if you can. Worth doing. Sometimes people are interested in listening, which is very important. But what about your own thoughts? Give yourself an opportunity to express yourself. So that's speaking your own thoughts, writing your own thoughts, your own insights. Even though Shankaracharya ji has his insights and he's an incarnation, he's ultimately asking us to have our own insights, our own vision. And we're going to have questions also. Many questions are going to come about. So in the journaling, or this is called writing down the various points, doesn't matter what age we are at. We can do it. Children can do it. Teenagers can do it. Everybody can do it. Elderly people, middle-aged people, everybody can do this. You take a notebook and you write down in good sentences your own insights, the things that are clear to you, things that are not clear to you, things that have questions that are coming up. So the practice of writing things down or speaking them or recording them enables the seeker to revisit and reflect on these ideas over time. If Sachin is interested in really sattva dhyanam, genuinely, wow, that's a big thing. It's one thing to talk about all this, make recordings. It's another thing to really sit for genuine, honest, impartial, unbiased reflection. That genuine, unbiased, choiceless reflection, as we said, choiceless awareness, that is Mananam. Shankaracharya ji is clear. Tataha Shrutihi Tat Mananam Sattva-dhyanam Chiram Nitya Nirantaram Munehe Tataha Avikalpa. Avikalpam. Avikalpam means that the mind is not inside the flux state. Flux meaning fluctuations of raga, dvesha, aham, mamatva, kam, krodh. None of those things are present. That is what is meant by tataha avikalpam. Avikalpam means it's avikalpa. No vikalpas are present. Param etya vidvan. Param is the supreme, that is God. Bhagavan, the Brahma Tattva. Brahma Tattva, Parabrahma Tattva. Param etya vidvan iva iha eva, meaning one who is a vidvan, learned person, who this kind of person is one who is a learned person, one who becomes a learned person. Here in itself, iha eva, right within the present, in the present, not later on when this mananam goes on. And there's a point that comes in the present moment. See, he's talking about mindfulness and the power of the present moment right here in these two words, iha eva. Iha eva, right here. Iha means here itself. Here in itself. Iha eva nirvana sukham samruchati. Nirvana sukham is the ananda. He's using the word sukha, but it really means ananda. Sometimes the word sukha is used because we understand that word better sometimes than the word ananda. Nirvana sukham, the sukha, the happiness of samadhi, of nirvana. What is nirvana? It is the blowing away of all duality. That is called nirvana. In the Buddhist concept, this is talked about quite a bit. And in Gita also this word is used, moksha nirvana. Very important. Nirvana sukham, this sukha. So again, you can say maybe that he's maybe not using the word ananda because that original happiness begins to open in nirvana state. And so that there's so much, you're flooded with sukh. The dukh is not present. The sukha is only present, which is then really just opening into ananda. The bliss of nirvana. Nirvana sukham. Samruchati. Samruchati means the individual has realized this truth of the bliss of nirvana. That is the goal. Why go through Vedanta? Why go through this entire process of Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam, the Nitya, Anitya, Vastu, Viveka, and all those ideas that have been examined so far? Why go through all that thing? Why spend time behind this? Because there is an extraordinary realization that is going to erupt and open up from the heart, from the mind, from the buddhi, and that is called Nirvana Sukham Samruchati. It's tremendous. Absolutely tremendous thing. I want to just make a couple more points and we will close for today. In the Mananam process, discussion, or what is called dialogue, but we can call it discussion or samvad in Sanskrit, is engaging in discussions, not like argumenting, like I'm right and you're wrong, not that foolishness. No, not that. engaging in discussions with more advanced individuals, spiritual teachers, discussions and dialogues with fellow seekers. In satsang, this is called Jnana Goshti. And in study groups, like they have in Christianity, Bible study groups, etc., can provide valuable perspectives and insights that help to refine one's understanding. Got a little scratchy throat here. Sorry about that. This is very important. Very good. Discussions and samvad, particularly with more advanced beings, with tremendous respect for all, of course. Discussion with them, discussion with fellow mumukshus, fellow seekers, like-minded individuals, and study groups. To study, like what we have here in online every day, is like a study group on Vivek Chudamani. So discussion with individuals who are interested in these ideas for reflecting higher, that is time spent in study groups. And what does it do? What is the result? It provides valuable perspectives and insights that help to refine one's understanding. We get better perspective, we get better insight. Our understanding grows, our refinement of our understanding grows. So the process of articulating one's thoughts and engaging in a dialogue helps to identify any potential doubts, misconceptions, and inconsistencies in one's grasp of the teachings. So it is a process of articulating one's thoughts and engaging in dialogue. You see, and that process, what does it do? It leads to clarity. Okay, and there are two more points which we will cover. There's three more points actually on this, but we will cover those tomorrow. I just mentioned them quickly. That is contemplative exercises called Atma Vichar, and that's the third point. The fourth point is integrating teachings into daily life, how to apply Vedanta into daily life, that we will look at also further in the next several days. And regular study and reflection we will look at further, consisting of routine of study, reflection, contemplation, etc. How to do all that we will so it's a more of an expansion on this word of Chiram Nitya Nirantaram, this Tattva Mananam. What this Mananam actually is, how to do it, we will be examining that throughout this week in many different ways. Hari Om Tat Sat. So now we will do the Shama Prarthana. Just a moment.
कर्पूरगौरं करुणावतारं संसारसारं भुजगेन्द्रहारं सदा वसन्तं हृदयारविन्दे भवं भवानी सहितं नमामि। मङ्गलं भगवान् शम्भुः मङ्गलं वृषभध्वजः मङ्गलं पार्वतीनाथो मङ्गलायतनोहरः सर्वमङ्गलमाङ्गल्ये शिवे सर्वार्थसाधिके शरण्ये त्र्यम्बके गौरी नारायणि नमोऽस्तुते। अथ मन्त्रपुष्पाञ्जलिः। ॐ जग्नेन जग्नमयजन्त देवास्तानि धर्माणि प्रथमान्यासन् तेहनाकं महिमानः सचन्त यत्र पूर्वे साध्याः सन्ति देवाः। ॐ राजाधिराजाय प्रसह्यसाहिने नमो वयं वैश्रवणाय कूर्महे समे कामान् कामकामाय मह्यम् कामेश्वरो वैश्रवणो ददातु कुबेराय वैश्रवणाय महाराजाय नमः। ॐ स्वस्ति साम्राज्यं भोज्यं स्वाराज्यं वैराज्यं पारमेष्ठ्यं राज्यं महाराज्यमाधिपत्यमयं समन्तपर्यायी स्यात् सार्वभौमः सार्वायुष आन्तादापरार्धात् पृथिव्यै समुद्रपर्यन्ताया एकराडिति तदप्येष श्लोकोऽभिगीतो मरुतः परिवेष्टारो मरुत्तस्यावसन् गृहे आवीक्षितस्य कामप्रेर्विश्वे देवाः सभासद इति। ॐ विश्वतश्चक्षुरुत विश्वतो मुखो विश्वतो बाहुरुत विश्वतस्पात् संबाहुभ्यान्धमति संवतत्रैर्द्याव भूमि जनयन् देव एकः। ॐ तत्पुरुषाय विद्महे महादेवाय धीमहि तन्नो रुद्रः प्रचोदयात्। नानासुगन्धपुष्पाणि यथा कालोद्भवानि च पुष्पाञ्जलिर्मया दत्तो गृहाण परमेश्वर। ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः भगवते श्रीसाम्ब सदाशिवाय नमः। मन्त्रपुष्पाञ्जलिं समर्पयामि नमस्करोमि।
Okay, Kripaluji, namaskar.
Thank you. No, so very good. Thank you so much. Wonderful.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. And we will continue. We will continue tomorrow at 8 o'clock. So let's go.
Thank you so much.
Okay,
I'll be there.
You're there. Your blessings are there. That's the most important thing, you know. So
I'm there. I'm there every day.
yes. Oh, thank you so much. So much blessings. Thank you. Bye bye.